Hello everyone, Chef Anthony. Welcome back to my kitchen. Well, this afternoon we're going to make some tomato tarts on flaky pastry basis. I used one sheet of purchased flaky pastry here. You'll see I've rolled the edges and just crimped them with a fork for a little bit of decorative design. I'm going to assemble these actually in the baking tray, because moving them with the tomato and any other fillings may be a bit of a struggle. We're going to do one that's just plain tomato with a bit of seasoning, and the second one I'm going to sex up with a little bit of Brie on top, not much. I should get these done with one very large beefsteak tomato. It helps if you have a sharp knife. Anyway, we'll get these on the baking sheet with a non-stick liner, get them assembled and show you what they look like when we've done that. So here are our tarts with the tomatoes laid on, 4 slices each, slightly overlapping. Didn't want to overload the tomato. We're going to brush this with some olive oil that has some garlic powder, freshly ground black pepper in it, a splash, and I mean just a little splash of balsamic to break it up. And we're going to sprinkle some dried Italian herbs and dried basil over the top. Okay, so here we are before we pop this into the Innova Precision Oven at 375 in the convection oven until the pastry puffs up, by which time the tomato sliced thin and the cheese sliced thin would be good. You'll see we just put 4 fairly thin slices of Brie the tomatoes, and we just touched them up with a little bit of the herbed olive oil too. Next, a sprinkle of herbs, and into the oven they go. So here we are, folks, all finished with Brie in the foreground, plain tomato in the back. Let's just zoom in and have a look. Nicely browned. We're going to let these cool off. I plan on eating these cold. I think half of one would feed a hungry bear with a glass of wine and some salad for lunch, or one whole tart would feed a very hungry bear as a standalone meal. You can do a lot with these tomato tarts, by the way. I was just talking about it with the sous chef. You know, the top tomato, the bottom one we've put Brie. It could have been anchovies, it could be mushrooms or herbs. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with these vegetable tarts. They make great starters or standalone lighter lunches. With that, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We'd appreciate it. And this, folks, is what happens when you've got your tarts on the cooling rack and the sous chef spots the tomato and Brie tart. It was inevitable, but it was tasty.